Entering week 4, the Cowboys head to the Bay Area to take on the Niners. The Cowboys are riding a 2-game win streak while the Niners are on a 2-game losing streak with issues at the quarterback position. Here's Dallas's schedule over the next 6 games. Take a look at this. So after Sunday, the road for Dallas not getting any easier. The Cowboys have the Bengals at home. They travel to Green Bay. They host the Eagles, go on the road for back-to-back games against the Browns and Steelers, then face the Ravens at Jerry's World. Will Kane is in the house.
Good morning.
To see you, as always. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Is this a must-win game for Dallas?
No, I mean, by definition, it's not a must-win game. What happens? I mean, you're already getting upset, Max. What happens if the Cowboys lose? Does Jason Garrett get fired? Does Dak Prescott get benched? Do they not make the playoffs?
Probably not.
Are they guaranteed 8-8 or 7-9? No, no, no. No to all of that. Thus, by definition, it's not a must-win game. It would be better if you beat the 49ers. I think they will beat the 49ers. But you look at this schedule and you point this out, and Stephen A. so happily pointed this out to me earlier in the week. The schedule gets very tough for the Cowboys. Bengals, Packers, Eagles. Well, you know what I think about that? I don't think you know anything. And as much as I would love that to be a unique circumstance of Stephen A. Smith, I don't think any of us know anything. I don't think we know who's good. I don't think we know who's bad. And I would just remind you, at this time last year, the Buffalo Bills looked very good. And as Stephen A. again happily pointed out to me, so did the Cowboys, who were 2-1, neither of which made the playoffs. So you know nothing. It's not a must-win game.
Week 3, it is true, we don't have enough evidence yet to really understand the schedule unless our preconceived notions coming into the season have been corroborated by what we've seen so far, which it hasn't, because the Eagles just smoked the Steelers, for example. So are the Eagles for real? Are the Steelers the team we thought they were? We don't know. We just don't know. Looking at that schedule for the Cowboys, it looks like a pretty standard issue NFL schedule at this point. But given what we know of so far about the Cowboys and what we thought coming into the season, and the same applying that the same to those other teams, that doesn't look much better than 500 if the Cowboys play kind of as well as they can, particularly without Dez Bryant. I don't see them winning more than half those games, but I can see them losing more than half those games.
Well, I'd like to add this. First things first. I don't know who the hell let you on national television with that shirt, Will. We'll have to discuss that another time because I don't know what the hell that was
complimented your
about.
show when I saw you on TV?
You didn't. And let me tell you, you want to have a style debate? We can do that as well, because I'm ready to go on that one.
You know, you can't even mess around. Don't even do that to yourself, bro. Don't even do that to yourself. Now let me get to football. Now let me get to football. Here's the deal. The Dallas Cowboys, this is a must-win. Because I could see the Dallas Cowboys losing 4 of their next 6 games after this game against San Francisco. I mean, you're going to beat the Browns. You might win one more of those games. But between the Bengals, the Packers, the Steelers, the Ravens, the Eagles, I'm sorry. I could see the Dallas Cowboys losing about 4 of those games. So to me, this is absolutely a must-win for the Dallas Cowboys, particularly with Dez Bryant hobbled. And I think that the more games that Dak Prescott plays, the more you get to figure him out. I'm not saying he's not talented. I like the kid, and the kid can play, and he's got promise. But you are a 4th rounder for a reason. And I think ultimately at this juncture, even though, far down the road, I think he's going to be big time. At this particular juncture, when they figure this guy out a little bit more and require him to do more, I think he's going to have some troubles. And I can see the Dallas Cowboys as a result having those troubles. Well, but when you say, Will, that it's not a must-win because nobody's getting fired, that's all you got? Nobody's getting fired. The same people are going to keep their jobs. I mean, that's where we're going now?
Well,
that doesn't make any sense.
Help me out here. What's the definition of a must-win?
Well, we're talking about it being a must-win because if you don't get this done, the possibility of you overcoming that loss
and
becoming successful for this particular season, it ain't going to happen.
Okay, let's dig in on that a little bit. First of all, let's just grant both Stephen A. and Max the premise that the best the Cowboys may do coming out of this schedule is 500, which, by the way, I reject, but for the purposes of this nice little conversation, I'll accept. If you told the Cowboys at the beginning of the season that you're not going to have Tony Romo until mid-November and you're going to be without Dez for some extended period of time.
We're not going to have Tony Romo until mid-November.
And at the end of that time frame, you will be 500. They would have said that's a pretty sweet place to be, because I will remind you as well, the Eagles, the Giants, and the Redskins all have to play virtually the same schedule. Tougher, actually, because the Cowboys got last place in that division. So if you think the Packers are really scary, or you think the Steelers are really scary, all of these teams have to play them. They all have to see that schedule. And the Giants and Redskins see it late in the season. They see it in December. So it's a 16-game season. I've listened to your show this morning, Stephen A. That's a long time. The only thing you can count on is change. Here's what's going to change with the Cowboys. Tony Romo's going to come back at some point. Des Bryant's going to come back at some point. Orlando Scandrick will get healthy. Tyron Smith will get healthy. And this one, I guarantee you, Dak Prescott will continue to improve. If you want to bet on a rookie quarterback who defenses are going to figure out, bet on Carson Wentz, the guy who had no preseason tape to give anyone. Dak, at this point, has given you nothing but confidence, making your must-win 500 prediction really shaky.
Well, let me tell you what's laughable about your position. The fact that you sat up there, with your little soliloquy there, you sat up there and talk about with the Cowboys is change. I would challenge the notion that there is change. As far as I'm concerned, the Cowboys consistently look the same to me. Somehow, some way, they get in their own way at the most inopportune time to screw up their season. It's who they are. It's who they've been. It's who they will continue to be. Now, the causes for that could be a multitude of issues. It could be injuries. It could be injuries to the quarterback. It could be injuries to the wide receiver. It could potentially be a quarterback controversy. It could be weed, a la Randy Gregory, DeMarcus Lawrence, or whomever else. It could be more. It could be your secondary issues. It could be anything. With the Cowboys, all we know for sure is that something tends to get in their way. We don't know what, but we know something
let me tell
will
you
happen
what.
because it's who they are.
Let me tell you what. The Cowboys are not so good that they can lose the games they got to win. They got to win the winnable games on their schedule, particularly with the injuries, and you're assuming Tony Romo comes back fully healthy and then stays fully healthy. I think that's quite an assumption. And even if that doesn't happen, that Dak Prescott continues to improve in a kind of linear way where he just gets better and better and better, hits no rookie wall, they don't adjust to him.
But he's giving you no reason to doubt that, Max. He's giving you no reason to doubt that.
But just the history of quarterbacks and the history of sports gives you reason to doubt it. But no, I think is he the real deal? Yes. He's going to have a good career if he stays healthy? Sure. I believe that is true. I think we've seen enough I've seen enough to confidently say I believe in Dak Prescott. But as a rookie, as the season wears on, I'm not so sure. The 49ers have still not figured out that they can't start Blaine Gabbert. This is like they're seeing the 49ers, unlike most of the rest of the league, right before Colin Kaepernick comes back, who's a much better quarterback. You have to win this game. Also, the Cowboys aren't going to win out at home. I mean, they lost first week of the season to the Giants. You got to win on the road sometimes. This is a road game you have to win against a less than, at their best, not good franchise at the moment.
I just think you're conflating games you should win with games you must win. Must wins seem to have repercussions. Should wins are just disappointing when you lose. This game is a should win. By the way, I think it's a little scarier than we're all giving credit to. I think it's one of those trap games. I think there's a lot of distractions for the Cowboys this week. And one last point, just on this idea that Stephen A. loves, that everything that can go wrong will go wrong with the Cowboys. It certainly hits home to a neurotic Cowboy fan who sees injuries pile up. But you don't think that Redskin fans feels like things go wrong as they look at putting Josh Dobson on IR? They don't think things go wrong when Kirk Cousins throws an interception in the end zone?
They're not the ones proclaiming to be America's team. Your team is.
That has no bearing. That's nice and that's cute.
It has every bearing.
But that has no bearing on whether or not if something can go wrong, it will go wrong. The point I'm making is every fan base can look at instances like that.
Beneath the pressure.
And if I'm looking for things that didn't go wrong, I found a franchise quarterback in the 4th round. How's your franchise doing?
Oh, please. Excuse me. I don't think you know what you found yet. 3 games does not make a season, nor does it make a career. We shall see. You can believe all you want about Dak Prescott. It's not firm. It's not etched in stone. That's what you believe because you're desperately looking for something to believe in because you haven't had much to believe in when it comes to the Cowboys in more than 20 years.
All I can say is, as a Giants fan, there are 2 franchises in the NFC East that I have, the Eagles are a separate issue. They haven't won a Super Bowl ever, right? But it's not like I look at them and think, boy, that's an incompetently run franchise. There's a problem in ownership that trickles down to the rest of the team. But as a Giants fan, when I look at the Washington franchise and when I look at the Cowboys, I say Thank you.
Well,
thank you
All
that
I
Jerry
have to
Jones
say
and
is
Daniel
Will just
Snyder
threw
are owners.
shots, and that was a drop the mic moment, but you can't leave. Sorry.
Just to leave it here, that's easy for a Giants fan to say.
Yes, it is.
A franchise where things go right, like winning Super Bowls based on a helmet catch. I understand you feel like you have angels on your
Then what
shoulder.
happened the next time? Same thing.
Something happened.
Something happened. That's right. That's
Oh,
right.
Lord.
Something happened.
Let's leave it there.